near the Andes mountain range. These fields stand out for their wonderful and colorful contrast with the rest of the natural landscape, full of rocky mountains, to evoke the shiny refractions of light made by the sunrise when it touches the dewdrops that bathe the tulip fields every morning during springtime and make them appear almost crystal made. Miss Grand Argentina. Miss Grand Armenia. The Armenian is one of those places where metal adornments are very meaningful. The theme of red, incorporated within the entire piece, is also the first color in the Armenian tricolor flag. It represents the bravery and resilience of the Armenian people to maintain their freedom. Miss Grand Armenia. Miss Grand Australia. Ulysses butterfly is a large swallow-tailed butterfly of Australia. It is of brilliant electric blue color with a wingspan of about 10.5 centimeters. This butterfly is used as an emblem for tourism in Queensland, Australia, the home of the Great Barrier Reef and the Daintree Rainforest, the world's oldest tropical rainforest. Miss Grand Australia. Miss Grand Bangladesh. Miss Grand Bangladesh's costume is a tribute to the 50th anniversary of Bangladesh's independence. It is inspired by the water lily, which is the national flower and crest of Bangladesh. The blossom symbolizes peace, love, enlightenment, and unity. This national costume celebrates the calmness of the water that the organza water lilies sit in as they sway to the breeze of the Silk Cape. Miss Grand Bangladesh. Miss Grand Belgium. This national costume inspires everyone to get the best out of themselves. With an ode to Belgian comics writer Willy van der Steen, with one of the longest-running successful cartoon character series, Suske and Wiske. Characteristics of the characters are fearlessness, intelligence, curiosity, and good-natured willingness to help another to motivate you. Miss Grand Belgium. Miss Grand Bolivia. The elaboration of this typical costume is based on the recycling of some synthetic materials. The headdress is handcrafted of papier-mâché, lined with synthetic leather. In the center is represented the Lord of the Staves, that mystical being that represents the sun, and is located on the monolith that is called La Puerta del Sol, which describes the position of the sun at any time or time of day. The pheasant feathers that represent the splendor of this culture. Miss Grand Bolivia. Miss Grand Brazil. Boitata, protector of the forests, is a character in Brazilian folklore. The legend of Boitata describes this mythic character as a great snake of fire. It protects animals and forests from people who do them harm, and above all, who carry out fires in the forests. Boitata can transform itself into a burning log with the intention of deceiving and burning the invaders and destroyers of the forests. Miss Grand Brazil. Miss Grand Cambodia. Cambodia has a lot of cultures, such as written language, spoken language, and its own alphabet, as documented in the Khmer history books, Slake Riat. Cambodia has a huge temple, Angkor Wat, the most famous national treasure. Angkor Wat belongs to Cambodia, became a heritage site in 1992. As the saying goes, Cambodia is a rising star. Miss Grand Cambodia. Miss Grand Canada. Costume inspired by the flag of Canada and the pride they feel for belonging to this great nation. An artistic design which demonstrates the beauty of Canadian women and the majesty of their national symbol in a range of very vibrant colors. The perfect mix between fantasy and reality. Miss Grand Canada. Miss Grand Chile. Representative costume of Chilean culture and indigenous roots, iconography and textiles. Miss Grand Chile. Miss Grand Colombia. This beautiful design bears on our minds when thinking of what Colombia could bring to unite humanity. Representing the Caribbean Sea, the Atlantic Ocean, and the Pacific Ocean, which are all connected to this magical country, means symbolizing the primary source of connection between humankind through the exchange of different cultures, knowledge, perspectives, and ideas that bring harmony to the world. Miss Grand Colombia. Miss Grand Costa Rica. Inspired by the Costa Rican jade tradition, jade is one of the most precious materials of pre-Columbian Costa Rican society, and it was used by their ancestors as a symbol of power. Nowadays, they have a national museum dedicated to the Costa Rican jade tradition. Miss Grand Costa Rica. Miss Grand Cuba. Ocean is one of the most important deities that exist within the Yoruba pantheon. She is the patron saint of Cuba and the queen of the waters of the river, a very brave and beloved goddess by her followers, since she brings fortune and riches to those who come to her. The knowledge of her and her power allowed her to be recognized as the queen and patron of Cuba, better known as La Caridad del Cobra, Miss Grand Cuba. Miss Grand Curacao. The inspiration for this fantasy has been the windmills on the island of Curacao that have been in use for centuries to pump water on Curacao. The wind farms on Curacao are considered the pioneer and standard bearer for all other Caribbean wind farm projects. Curaçao's strong breezes have provided water at remote sites. They've been generating electricity in recent years, and hundreds of them still irrigate orchards. Miss Grand Curaçao. Miss Grand Czech Republic. The majestic noble eagle, which is the state symbol of the Czech Republic, Queen of the Heavens, is synonymous with acuteness, intelligence, and natural authority. These traits were ever present in Holy Prince Vaclav, whose symbol was an eagle. An important part of the national costume is the crystal face mask, making reference to the protection afforded to us in fighting with COVID-19. Miss Grand Czech Republic. Miss Grand Dominican Republic. Inspired by national flowers, La Cayena, which in turn symbolizes abundance, well-being, and joy. The merengue that runs through skin with its own colors that star flag. The red represents the bloodshed by liberators. The blue expresses that God protects the Dominican nation. And the white cross is the symbol of the struggle of liberators to bequeath a free homeland. Miss Grand Dominican Republic. Miss Grand Ecuador pays tribute to the Jamacocu culture, especially to its identity and pre-Columbian clothing, accentuated in the archaeological figures and pieces found, and also reflects the laborious handcraft artwork of our ancestors, who left the list of mythical legends, beliefs, and customs as cultural legacy to the country for generations. Miss Grand Ecuador. Miss Grand Egypt. Costume of Queen Cleopatra. The costume has 4 colors: gold, white, blue, and red. White is for the gown. Gold represents the Egyptian gold, a symbol of Egypt's richness, and a gold necklace in the form of the wings of Horus, the sky god. Blue is associated with Ammon, the god of air, while the red color stands for power and bravery. The costume also contents of phoenix ornaments. Miss Grand Egypt. Miss Grand El Salvador. Costume inspired by the Ned Japan's tradition of the fireballs, commemorating the fight between the patron of Nejapa San Geronimo Doctor and the devil, in which it is said that both threw fireballs in a fight. Miss Grand El Salvador. Miss Grand France. The inspiration for this national costume is taken from the everyday vintage look of a Parisian woman. Some words that can be used to describe this look is chic, elegant, and timeless. Ooh la la! Miss Grand France. Miss Grand Germany. The German Grimm brothers certainly would not have dreamed that their fairy tales would be passed down from generation to generation until today. There are countless times that we have read or seen movies inspired by the stories of these famous German writers. That is why we want to bring to life one of his most famous stories, Little Red Riding Hood, but in a modern and fashionable way. Miss Grand Germany. Miss Grand Guatemala. The suit features a handmade textile made by artists from the Guatemalan highlands. Embroidered with bohemian glass and wood beads, it imitates details of ancient Mayan costumes. The headdress shows Cuauhtémocs, a feathered serpent described in the Popol Vuh as the creative entity. The back simulates a cascade of quetzal feathers, the symbolic bird of Guatemala. Miss Grand Guatemala. Miss Grand Haiti. This costume portrays Madame Sarah. Madame Sarah is profiled as a specific type of woman in Haiti, whose work is at the heart of Haiti's informal economy. They work tirelessly to buy, sell, and distribute goods at their markets. Despite facing intense hardship and social stigma, the hard work of Madame Sarah ensures a better life for generations to come. This costume also has components, national symbols of Haiti. Miss Grand Haiti. Miss Grand Honduras. Inspired by the origin of the world, including the most influential beings of Mayan mythology, the jaguar god, representing power and cunning, and one of the most dangerous. It is made with leather mesh, handmade painted acetates, laces, metal braids, acrylic and crystal stones, rhinestones, beveled beads, and a touch of pheasant and rooster feathers. Miss Grand Honduras. Miss Grand Hong Kong. Hong Kong's #1 famous and popular food, dim sum, is the inspiration for this dress. Miss Grand Hong Kong would like to share a lot of dim sum with her new Miss Grand family and friends. Also, with those who are starving in unfair violence. Warm dim sum can be shared to create happiness and fullness and warmth. Miss Grand Hong Kong. Miss Grand India. The inspiration behind the national costume of the delegate from India is Chow Dance. Chow Dance is based on tribal rituals and draws inspiration from martial arts, mock combat, semi-classical dance, acrobatics, athletics, and storytelling. The word Chow is said to be derived from the Sanskrit word chaya, which means shadow or image. Miss Grand India. Miss Grand Indonesia. The national costume of Indonesia is a symbol of the gratitude to God as the universal creator, usually carried by Balinese women. Miss Grand Indonesia. Grand Italy. The Madonna, a science fiction inspired by tradition, sacredness, art, and Italian culture. Dress created in silk taftan, palette, tulle, pleated, black organdies with a hand-painted gold color of the eternal city, Rome. A set of elements and ornaments create a masterpiece for our queen, Marika Nardozi, an atmosphere of mystery and elegance. Miss Grand Italy. Miss Grand Japan. Cherry blossoms are a symbolic flower of the spring, a time of renewal and the fleeting nature of life. Their life is very short. After their beauty peaks around 2 weeks, the blossoms start to fall. This costume takes cue from an imaginary deity guarding the trees, which give us breathtakingly beautiful flowers. This ensemble in black, silver and pink symbolizes one of the icons of Japanese culture, Miss Grand Japan. Miss Grand Korea, inspired by the first queen of Silla, a blue dress with golden decorations and crown. Miss Grand Korea. Miss Grand Laos, inspired by the tamakum, a Lao traditional dish. It has a flavorful and spicy flavor. If we talk about Lao food, the first thing that everyone knows is papaya salad, which is eaten all over Laos and is one of the most famous Lao dishes. Therefore, tamakum has become our inspiration to make the Lao national costume by bringing Lao silk weaving and handicraft skills to design to tamakum, Miss Grand Laos. Miss Grand Liberia. Hajamaya has found a way to make something so beneficial to Liberia fashionable too. Made of green ostrich feathers, faux palm leaves, and AV crystals. She has named this costume the Glitzy Palm. The palm tree is such a gift to Liberia that they named it their national tree. This is a remarkable plant which benefits all Liberians in some way. Miss Grand Liberia. Miss Grand Malaysia. Ulek Mayang is one of Malaysia's oldest folk songs and dances, originating from the state of Terengganu. In the early days, Ulek Mayang was performed as a healing ritual for fishermen who fall ill at sea and were believed to be caused by sea spirits and could only be cured by calling upon the spirits of the sea and sending them back to the dark, watery depths. Miss Grand Malaysia. Miss Grand Mauritius. Miss Grand Mauritius will be the protector of the sea, who is responsible for keeping the sea in abundance at all times, with a slight mermaid-like aura. Snip off the fish that will be on the limbs and will have shells, corals, and marine plants decorated on the suit, and will add diamonds to add sparkle crystal embellishments representing water droplets. The walking stick will be like the waves of the sea. The veil is printed with the sea pattern of Mauritius on the back. Miss Grand Mauritius. Miss Grand Mexico. The representation used in duality of the Mayan Kukulkan and Balam deities consists of a jaguar animal print full-body suit in the tone of gold with embellished crystals in obsidian color, a volumetric in the form of a snake made with diverse materials. Finishing touches are in paint decorated with acrylic faceted crystals, as well as rooster feathers painted in diverse colors, inspired by the Mexican macaw and bison. Miss Grand Mexico. Miss Grand Myanmar. The name of the costume is Burmese Heart. Bagan is the heart of the Burmese. The costume is inspired by the tradition of Bagan, made with the lacquer and rattan that is a product of Bagan. Miss Grand Myanmar. Miss Grand Nepal. Karunamaya, God of Compassion, is portrayed in this garment. The special feature of having longest festive time, called Jatra in Newari culture, tallest chariot of 60 feet, worshipped as God of Agriculture, makes the deity so unique. The garment here consists of intricate hand-embroidered skirt and blouse in red color. The color resembles power, stability, security, action, courage, and emotional survival in the spiritual realm. Miss Grand Nepal. This dress, the Dutchies are going strong. Miss Grand Netherlands. Miss Grand Nicaragua. Silonen, protector of corn, with the history in the body and an aesthetic base that adduces to their pre-Hispanic era. This scenic development of costumes arises. This pre-Hispanic clothing highlights the value of the cultivation of corn, one of the main economic and gastronomic items of their land. The painting, the petroglyphs engraved on their stones, were one of the main ways of creating history that their ancestors had. Miss Grand Nicaragua. Miss Grand Nigeria. The term Wazobia is a word coined from the three major tribes in Nigeria, which means come. This costume shows the different parts of Nigeria through aesthetic lens while preaching the message of peace, regardless of the religious differences and tribalism which have threatened their peaceful coexistence. They can still get Nigeria working again if they all come together. Miss Grand Nigeria. Miss Grand Northern Ireland. The Irish earth goddess Anu. In Irish folklore, Anu was the beautiful queen of nature, from whom all life emerged. She embodied the earth, rivers, and the sea. She offered beauty, abundance, regeneration, and nurturing. Miss Grand Northern Ireland. Miss Grand Pakistan. Ramina's national gown displays the ridges of the landscape, symbolizing the strength of the natural beauty of Pakistan's ecosystem. The emerald and silver gems in her jewelry reflect the royalty that has graced the lands of Pakistan, stemming back to the grand empires that have contributed to the culture, class, and power of Pakistan. Miss Grand Pakistan. Miss Grand Panama. Contador's thick sea foam blends into the white sand beaches and unmistakable sunsets. Those red and orange sunsets that captivate its visitors. This spectacular creation features a mix of metallic and pearl tones, a creation of renowned Panamanian designer Cesar de Castro. Miss Grand Panama. Miss Grand Paraguay. This vibrant, colorful representation symbolizes courage, love, and tolerance through a kind, sweet, and peaceful Paraguayan Guarani goddess in the most iconic fabric of Paraguay, the Nanduti. Miss Grand Paraguay. Miss Grand Peru. Inspired by the most elegant bird of the Peruvian Amazon, wasting elegance, strength, but above all, grace and grace in its plumage. It is a glam and colorful style within an allegory towards the aves of their Amazon. Miss Grand Peru. Miss Grand Philippines. Inspired by the Paru Festival, held in Dasmariñas, Cavite City, in the Philippines, every 26th of November, which symbolizes the transformation of the city over the years. The festival depicts, in a parade of costumed street dancers, the metamorphosis of the butterfly, much to what is happening in the city and in the Philippines. Miss Grand Philippines. Miss Grand Portugal. Viriato was in the southwestern territory of the Iberian Peninsula in the Lusitanian Wars. He was not a hereditary chief, but chosen for being the one who possessed the greatest leadership skills among the barbarians and the most prone to daring danger. Miss Grand Portugal. Miss Grand Puerto Rico. Goddess Atabe. She is the female entity representing the earth, the spirit of the sun, and the spirit of all horizontal water, lakes, streams, the sea, and sea tides. This deity was one of the most important to the native tribes that inhabited the Caribbean islands of the Antilles, mainly in Puerto Rico. The colors represent the sea, the sun, and the grandeur of Puerto Rican women. Miss Grand Puerto Rico. Miss Grand Russia. This costume is based on the fairy tales of the Ural writer Pavel Bazov. He draws his idea from the appearance of the beautiful Morpho butterfly against the backdrop of the largest Russian lake, Baikal. The image of a mysterious blue-winged creature conceals many secrets and reminders that every girl around the world is unique and beautiful, and each brings kindness and pure love, sincerity and tenderness to this azure world. Miss Grand Russia. Miss Grand Siberia. Siberia is one of the coldest and snowiest countries in the world. It is covered with snow for about 7 to 9 months a year, and 1/4 of the territory of Siberia lies north of the Arctic Circle, where you can watch the northern lights. The national costume conveys the colors and the feeling of the snowy nature of Siberia. The whole image is presented in the national style. Gazelle. Miss Grand Siberia. Miss Grand South Africa. It always seems impossible until it's done. The wise words of one of their late legendary leaders, Nelson Mandela. The costume is a symbol of a multiracial, multicultural team working together to show that they are stronger together. The green symbolizes growth, renewal, and rebirth, and the gold symbolizes strength and resilience, which is what South Africa is. Miss Grand South Africa. Miss Grand Spain. Green, the color of the forests, which arises as a result of all the various tree species from the forest of the Lurisilva. Golden shades are also dominant, symbolizing sun rays passing through its branches. The special glow coming from their forests is the key to this fantasy. The infinite placement of glass pieces, strategically placed from the roots to the top of the tree, is what gives that special touch. Miss Grand Spain. Miss Grand Sri Lanka. The concept of the Kandi Ansari is a modest but womanly piece of art. The Sinhalese culture values the Kandyan sari as the most elegant and versatile attire a woman can wear. The key feature of this sari is that the midriff is covered with a longer blouse. The Kandyan sari is still worn by Sri Lankan brides, although a white wedding dress is another common outfit for reception ceremonies in this culture. Miss Grand Sri Lanka. Miss Grand Sweden. In Sweden, December is the darkest and coldest season of the year. On December the 13th, Lucia is celebrated all around Sweden. With light in her hair and with a singing choir, she comes with a hope for a brighter future. Lucia symbolizes love and joy. The costume is inspired by Sweden's cold days with snow, but under the cold hides a beautiful Lucia with light in her hair. Here she comes walking with the hope of a brighter future and love. Miss Grand Sweden. Miss Grand Thailand. The Ramayana literature, presented in the form of the contemporary Thai masked dance drama, or Khon, which is ornately decorated with crystal, conveying the strength of the giant through the wearer. The national costume is applied to the puppetry of Hanuman. In the pose of Kun Loi Korn, it is considered an invaluable cultural heritage of Thailand. Miss Grand Thailand. Miss Grand United States of America. Breast cancer awareness, meaning behind raising awareness for breast cancer, is because being a woman and having the amazing platform of Miss Grand United States. Costume stands for all the strong women across the globe fighting cancer. We must support the fighters, admire the survivors, remember the angels, and never give up hope. Together we are tougher than cancer. Miss Grand United States of America. Miss Grand Venezuela. Divinity and beauty emerges from the waters of the Apure River. The rebirth of the innocence, purity, and beauty of the female gender. With the strength of the serpent in a wonderful fantasy full of magical realism, which represents Deidad Kapayakua in a work of embroidery in crystals orchid possesses in lilac colors. Miss Grand Venezuela. Miss Grand Vietnam. The Blue Angel, which is inspired by the medical frontliners' protective clothing. They also wanted to create something special and proudly represent Vietnam. This costume is to honor their medical frontliners across the country, who are the true heroes in this fight. The costume goes with the message, with the Blue Angels' power, they will win this game. Coronavirus, it's time for you to leave. Miss Grand Vietnam.
T2M Insurance Broker, Telepon Clinic, AG Advanced Technology, Public Company Limited, Australia by Anui, Dulce, One Smart Star, Viborica, Lady Audrey, Thai Vietjet Air, Prince Hospital, Suvarnabhumi, Thai Brasserie, Cullinan by Pipe, Petty House, Conquier, Rancita, Simple Not Me by Coco, and Kunia. I would like to remind you that we have another challenge for all of you to have your favorite contestant to get closer to the crowd by voting on Star for application star 789 on your Android phone. Download the application right now and follow the voting instruction. It is an easy way to help your girl to get into the top 10 on the final show. So please don't forget to vote for them. We will have the preliminary competition on 2nd December from 7 p.m. And Miss Grand International 2021 final show will be held on 4 December 7. Those tournaments are also being held here at Show DC Hall. You can watch all our shows live on Grand TV YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow us and push the notification on all of our YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. You won't miss any of Miss Grand International.